Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. Today it's Snapshot 21W08A and I'm going to be going over everything that is new and changed in this update. So the first thing to note is that in the last update we got the grimstone block, but now it has been updated to be called the deep slate instead of grimstone. So that is just a name change, nothing major, but we have also got the new ore textures to go along with it, and frankly, I think these look fantastic. And I know that the textures have changed, and I didn't really like the way that some of these looked in the stone texture, but in these, they look amazing, especially the redstone. I really like how that's looking, the red with the black. I'm a big fan of that, and the diamond also looks really good. I'm not sure about this iron texture, but the rest of them I really like in this. And you will also notice now that we have tuff down here, which used to be around the amethyst clusters, but that is not the case anymore. The amethyst clusters now have smooth basalt on the outside, and they still have the calcite on the inside. So if we were to jump out into the world, you'll see now, yeah, so there you go. There's the calcite, and then there's the smooth basalt instead of the tuff, because the tuff now only generates below y=0. And we've also gotten rid of the andesite generation that was down here last time. It's been replaced with this tuff, which spawns in veins just like diorite and things in the higher levels. Now, the other new change is before, when this was grimstone, we were able to use it to craft stone recipes like with cobblestone, but that is not the case anymore. Now, when you break it, you will get cobbled deepslate, which is a cobblestone variant. So you can craft everything that you would have crafted with cobblestone before, just with this cobbled deepslate. And I actually find that it doesn't look that much different than deep slate. It is a slightly different texture. It's a little bit darker and a little bit more broken up, but it's not a wild change. I mean, if you were walking past it, you might not even notice that there is a difference. It's a slight texture variation. I actually kind of like it because a lot of texture variations in Minecraft are quite jarring, but this one you could mix it in quite nicely, and it would add a little bit of texture to a build if you were going to use these blocks. Now, they also tweaked the ores in the stone variant again. Everything is slightly different. I actually like the redstone a little bit more than last week. It is still a little bit jarring, the change, but that's okay. The iron is the only one that I'm really not a fan of. I get that they've tried to make it more of like a connected vein texture, so it like crosses over into the different blocks, but it's just this color that's in this iron, I'm really not feeling. It feels wrong given what it looked like before, and it's trying to change it too much. I'm a big fan of this new copper texture though. Look at that with the green and the copper color. That's really good. And they also slightly tweaked emerald and lapis, and I am a big fan of these. This emerald one I think looks fantastic. Of course, diamond is still the same, and the coal again looks quite good. It's just a couple of these, the iron. I'm not a big fan of these dark spots in the gold either, but overall, I think that these are looking a little bit better this week. Now, I've turned the particles back on here for a second, so you're going to see the night vision particles, but that is because a while ago, we got the spore blossom, and it just dripped before, but you remember when we did that, I was talking that originally they said it was going to have a big area of effect particle, and it now does have that. So in a radius around the spore blossom, you now get this really cool particle effect. So you could have these like hidden in your base, and then there would be these fun particles floating in different areas. So this adds a lot of potential for a different element in bases than we've really ever had before. We haven't been able to play much with particles other than maybe dripping water or dripping lava. But this adds really a whole new dimension to building than the 3D. This moves into the sort of fourth dimension and things that are moving around you. So I'm really excited about this. Now, on top of the new ore textures that we have this week, we also have changes to ore generation again. I'll put the two figures up on the screen here, and on the right you can see last week the ore generation. It's a little bit more smooth, But on the left, you see the new ore generation, and it's much more linear in the way that it distributes itself through the world. And you can sort of see the slight differences between the two. It's not a huge change, but it's just finessing those numbers down. Now, the last major change this week is probably the biggest one. They have made changes to the generation of caves again, and cave carvers now apply below y=0. So you see the really interesting spaghetti caves and other things like that. And I think it's really just looking fantastic down here with these massive caverns and these new ore textures. So it's looking broken up down here now. It's not just one smooth color. It's got the mine shafts, it's got water. They've added the lava back in down here again. That was something that was missing in the last few. So it's looking really fantastic. And they have also added different generation up in the world where you can see cracks in the world, they call them. It's interesting. I haven't seen a ton of them, but you'll probably see them in worlds where there you go. That's like a crack in the water. So it's like a little water-filled cavern. And I'm guessing this is probably one here as well. So these are super interesting features that have also been added. There you go. These are the cracks as well, which this probably flows down into a spaghetti cave. So these are some super interesting updates, and the generation is obviously the biggest part of what is the caves update. We still have to get the new cliff generation features. They haven't featured that very much, but I imagine that's coming up. They're just trying to finesse down here, and I really think that this update has taken us a lot of the way towards what it's actually going to look like down here. Originally, we just had one texture, but now it's really looking fantastic. But let me know what you think of this update down in the comments about the ores and the new particle effects that from the block I have in my hand here. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe because I cover all of these updates, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.